Hello and welcome to your daily lunchtime show where we catch up on current events and headlines. My name is Glenora Shipura and this is NMH at 1. In incoming news today, Trevino Forbes yesterday evening retained his position as the mayor of Walvis Bay and Sarah Mutotoga as deputy mayor. A couple of changes were made to the composition of the management committee. Moving on, with the arrival of a new COVID-19 variation in South Africa and Botswana, Sky News reports that 6 African countries will be added to the red list. Flights will be temporarily banned and the UK travelers must be quarantined. Flights from South Africa, Namibia, Lesotho, Botswana, Eswatini and Zimbabwe will be suspended from 12 p.m. today until 4 a.m. on Sunday. From Sunday onwards, the new arrivals in the UK will be required to quarantine in hotels. Moving on to our COVID-19 update, have a look at today's COVID-19 monitor. New cases in Namibia slightly increased over the 7 days up to Tuesday, with 59 confirmations during this period. The country's 7 days average thus increased from 5 to 8 new cases per day. More than 60% of these cases were reported in 3 of Namibia's 35 health districts. Windhoek reported 25 new cases and Oshwarongo and Swakopmund 6 each. A slight increase was also reported in 7 districts, with a 6 reporting decrease and averages remaining the same in the remaining 22 districts. The averages for Bariental and Keetmanshoop also dropped to 0, but the number of districts reporting no new cases remains 21. Oshikuku and Luderitz did not report new cases and were removed from this category. The average in the capital city of Windhoek increased from 1 to 4 cases per day, while both Oshwarongo and Swakopmund are averaging 1 case per day. Oshakati's average dropped from a rounded 1 to 0.4. Namibia has now fully vaccinated more than 300,000 people since the local rollout started on 19 March this year. This represents 12% of the population, of which 14% have received at least 1 dose of vaccine. Only 4 months remaining for the target of a 60% vaccination rate to be reached by the end of March 2022. In the meantime, it seems as though we are due to face another COVID-19 onslaught, and people have not put this respite to good use by vaccinating. As always, we now bring you video clips from around the country. First up, the Namibia Fish Consumption Promotion Trust, NFCPT Fish Shop, was inaugurated in Oshwarongo earlier this week for residents of the Shundunjiba region to also benefit from Namibia's marine resources. And so Amwele was there.
Consumption within Namibia by making fish more accessible and affordable by Namibians. The governor also talked about affordability and the residents of this great republic. Furthermore, the trust aims at educating the public on how to prepare and cook fish in order to ensure that the public attains the most nutritional value from eating fish. By the same token, I wish to highlight with a great pride and appreciation that to date, the trust has managed to, in accordance with the government objectives, establish retail fish shops in all 14 regions of our country. This specific shop that is about to be inaugurated today brings the number of fish shops owned and operated by the Trust to 18. I need to mention, Governor, I heard you also where you say we need to open more shops, more work can be given and so on. But we need to keep in mind also the financial situation we are currently in as a country, Governor. And as a Ministry of Fisheries, we are subsidizing heavily the Fish Consumption Promotion Trust. So it's a bit difficult for them to just, they need to budget, but at least annually if they, or biannually if they can open a shop, it will be good. So I concur with you, they need to. But in the meantime, while shops is not opened, I learned something from Mr. Hone. Can you stand, Hone? They can see you. Yeah, that is Mr. Hone. He's from Henties Bay. He's the Chief Executive Officer of the Hanganeni, you may say Hanganeni Group. We call them HAFA. I don't know exactly what HAFA is standing for. Hanganeni. Tell us.
Hanganeni Artisanal Fishing Association.
That is the one.
Mainly for the small scale fishing communities.
Hey, now he's promoting himself. Yeah, why not? Yeah. You know what they are doing is they are the fishermen.
As far as fish consumption is concerned, we are at a transit where 9 other regions are transiting through our region. So when you talk a population of 163,000 that we have, you would add 50% of each other region that is transiting through our region. That already is beefing up both your economic outflow, that is money in circulation, disposable income, and of course the consumption from those that are passing by. And on top of that, I must add that the constituency further, the region further is fragmented into 7 constituencies. Now, Oshwarongo being the central part of it with around 40,000 inhabitants, of which 60% of these inhabitants are the converted ones. The likes of the Nico Kayamos and yourselves, the converted fellas that understand the importance of fish consumption and the contribution towards nutrition. But again, you have areas that are at the periphery. Primarily on the eastern side, you have Gang Chumkwe. On the western side, you have Kalkfeld. Deep on the southern side, you have all the way to Ovitoto, because Ovitoto is just a stone throw away to Windhoek. And then on the northern part, the far edge here, you have Farm Dubek, that is in the Grootfontein constituency. All these individuals, they want to still get access to fish. However, the proximity at which your fish consumption shops are located, because according to your information, you only have 18 of this kind in the whole of Namibia. You would want to see a situation whereby you increase that and make sure that every constituency does have a point where somebody can reach out and say that. The reason I'm saying that, I'm turning it into the employment opportunity part of it.
Moving on to our second clip, the Limco Kowink University has been a source of controversy after rumors of the institution's legitimacy. The Vice-Chancellor of the university, Hode Rirako, speaks on the university's latest endeavors. Irene Marie van der Walt attended the event.
Now the track itself will commence on the 26th of November 2021 and it will last until the 14th of December 2021. This is the first phase of our roadshow, which the team will be covering the following region. We will, for this year, as part of our first phase, cover the Omaheke region, Ochoronjuba, Kavango East, Kavango West, Sambesi, Oshana, Ohangwena, Omsadi, and Oshikoto.
Moving on to our third and final video for the day, the Swakopmund Municipal Council met on 25 November for the final ordinary council meeting for the year. The new office bearers will be elected next week, Tuesday. Micheline Nawatasis submitted this clip.
Mr. Shongola and Hansen, thank you for your taking of the task to present not only yourself, but us. I wish you nothing but the best of putting Swakopmund on the map. Thank you very much. Before commencing with the year achievement, I would like to show some appreciation to everyone that made it all possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember last year when we were faced by the applicable circumstances provided by COVID-19. Council and stakeholders against national mandate stood together to endure and overcome those circumstances. Then we overcome all those circumstances. This year we were faced by the challenge once more, this time among others, due to the after effects of COVID-19. Yet again, business community members, national and regional government and municipality strategies to rise above all that was present.
On the front pages of Namibia's newspapers published today, we've identified the following reports that raise special attention. First up, on its front page, the Algemeine Zeitung today leads with an analysis of recent developments with regards to the gas and oil exploration in the Kavango regions of Namibia. A closer look has been taken at the fact that Raccoon Africa seems to remain on the back foot permanently, where they keep assuring the Namibian public that their actions remain within the confines of the Namibian laws, yet no week passes without another rule or regulation having apparently been circumvented. After having drilled for water and having proceeded to drill exploration holes without having the correct permits and licenses, we found out that all water use happened without the correct authorization. And this week, the Parliamentary Standing Committee for Natural Resources pointed out that all the land on which Raccoon Africa operations take place were not done in line with the Namibian law. This time, Raccoon Africa had also transgressed communal land rights, it seems. The Republican today leads with a new, much more dangerous COVID-19 variant that has been identified in South Africa. This may have serious repercussions for Namibia's festive season if not kept in check. The Namibian Sun also leads with the new COVID-19 variant, focusing on the fact that 80% of Namibians have not been vaccinated, even though the government has taken every reasonable step to get the nation protected. Sadly, we see that the vaccines will need to be destroyed one of these days as they reach the end of their shelf life, while people keep ignoring this substantial threat. The Namibian today leads with an informative article about the Government Institution Pension Fund, GIPF, having taken a look at what funds are invested where. It concludes that 136.2 billion Namibian dollars are invested in more than 700 companies all over the world. On its front page, the New Era reports that the Namibian president, Hage Geingob, has inaugurated the Impalila Island Rural Electrification Project yesterday at a cost of 23.5 million Namibian dollars. 3 villages have now been connected to the Namibian power network. On its front page, the Confidante reports that Old Mutual is considering the vaccination status of new clients, wanting to, in the future, follow the principle of no jabs, no policy. Alternatively, people who do not vaccinate will have to pay for more for the same amount of life insurance cover. On the front page of the Market Watch, you can read more about risk-averse men as compared to women who seem to be more willing to accept higher risks or lower returns from investments. Theo Klein of Simon & Storm takes a closer look at investment spread and tendencies. On the front page of this week's Career Hub, you are introduced to Emilian Gaikembwa, a young executive in the telecommunications industry. And on the inside pages, you'll be able to read up more about the following. On its page 3, the Algemeine Zeitung focuses on the fact that at least 13,000 people in Namibia are simply too poor to afford healthy food. These numbers have been disclosed by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. The Republican on its page 3 brings an update about the Russian company Head Springs Investment that was busy exploring in the Stampede Artesian Basin with the aim of producing uranium through the process of in situ leaching. Their drilling permits were recently withdrawn when it became clear that these activities pose a serious threat to the aquifer in the Kalahari Basin. Now the company maintains that the illegal drilling far beyond the original agreed EIA is to be blamed on their contractors. The Namibian Sun on its page 3 writes about the fact that 3 prisoners that have been sentenced to the lifelong prison terms are technically entitled to be released after serving 25 years in prison. Now, there seems to be a number of prisoners that are entitled to be released on parole, yet the Namibian Prisoner Service neglect to apply the rule that is based on a Supreme Court judgment of 2018. The Namibian on its page 3 quotes Dudu Murorwa, the chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Public Accounts, who has been listening to some harrowing stories about neglected financial controls this week and has come to the conclusion that the Namibia Students Financial Assistance Fund has either ignored early warning signs or bullied it. There clearly seems to be a total breakdown of financial controls in the NASFAF, with people always accusing their predecessors but never reaching the point, apparently, where somebody takes control. We would like to apologize for some technicalities experienced during the show. But with that, we have reached the end of today's show and also the end of this week's show. Thank you for watching NMH at 1. From me, Glenora Shipura, please do join me again next week, same time, same place. But before that, up next, the weather.